I wasn't showing up for what mattered because I was doing a form of people pleasing. Hello there, I'm Lisa Fox from lisafox.ie. And today I wanted to talk to you about the confidence to make time for what matters. I feel like this is going to be quite a short one today. Maybe this is just a little quickie. We'll see. You know what I'm like. Um, but it's just something that's been on my mind recently. And the reason that it's been on my mind recently is because I found myself not making the time for what matters in my business this month, right? Um, now not that I haven't made time at all for what matters, but I found myself hiding a little bit away from stuff that I know really matters, right? And I've really just taken a moment to stop and ask myself where that resistance was coming from, right? And why I wasn't taking the time to do the things that matter, the things that I know work, the things that I really like doing as well. And often for me, and I don't know if this is going to resonate for you, I feel like it will because we're all the same. What I came back to in this particular situation was that I wasn't showing up for what mattered because I was doing a form of people pleasing, right? And it's not that I it's like an imaginary thing that happens. We're constantly like trying to figure out what everybody is thinking about us and how everybody feels about us. And we're subconsciously adjusting our behavior all the time based on what we think other people are thinking of us and how they're perceiving us. And for I just find that this confidence work is so important because it is just taking that moment to even just identify it. And for me, like working backwards, I realized things aren't going as well as they normally do, or not even that they're not going that well, but there wasn't the same flow that there normally is for me this month in business. And it's no surprise to me when I look at it now, because last month I had my best month in business ever. And of course, I was celebrating that. I was like, yeah, amazing, brilliant. Let's keep going on a conscious level. But I realized when I was feeling a bit blocked and feeling like things aren't going that well, whatever, I did what I always do when these days when I feel that. And I just took out the pen and paper and I started journaling and I was like, just ask the question of myself, what the fuck is going on? What is going on here? Why am I so blocked? Why is this not flowing? And the more I journaled, the more I was like, oh, I had this subconscious belief that I wasn't identifying, that I hadn't taken that moment to identify and realize. I had this belief that people were going to be mad at me, and not even people, not generally people, right? But like a person or two in my life were going to be really mad at me if I kept succeeding in the way that I was. Sounds so ridiculous. I wouldn't have believed it if I hadn't written it down myself. Um, People are going to be, when I say people, this person or two people are going to be jealous of me if I keep going like this. I don't want to outgrow this person. I don't want them to think that I think I'm better than them. I was projecting a lot of stuff. I was doing a projectile vomit over this innocent person who I don't know whether or not they were having any of these thoughts about me, but knowing what I know about them, they probably weren't. But this was what was going on subconsciously for me. And so I realized when I wasn't making the time for the things that I know matter, the things that I know work in my own business, the things that have brought me the success that I had reached in that previous month, where it was my best month in business, and I wasn't doing those things as much, not at all. Not that I wasn't doing them at all, but I wasn't doing them as much, or I wasn't sure I was resisting them because I didn't want to fucking upset anyone. And I learned such a valuable lesson that I'm sure, like any valuable lesson, I'm sure I will have to learn it over and over again. But the lesson is to have that awareness, like when I'm feeling that sense of like, oh, it's not working, what's going on? I'm not feeling good. I was feeling a bit anxious. To just stop and take a minute and, oh my God, do it a bit sooner, Lisa. Do it a little bit quicker as soon as you feel it. Because it went on for weeks, went on for weeks before I actually sat down and took the time to identify what was actually going on for me subconsciously. Um, took me weeks. And then when I finally did, it just came flowing out. It came flowing out. And here's the other thing. I had heard other people saying stuff like this before, like, when you kind of reach that upper limit, because you're not used to it, you can start to sabotage yourself, to bring yourself back down to where you're used to. Um, and I was like, when I heard of other people doing that, I was like, well, okay, I know that's a thing now, so I'm not going to do that. But I did it, and I didn't realize I was doing it. And so now that I've identified it, I know that I'm not. Hopefully, I'll just pick. Not that it'll never happen to me again. Not that I won't be a people pleaser. I'm always fighting this people pleaser part of myself. I'm always fighting this perfectionist part of myself. It's such a default for me and for so many of you, for so many of the women that I talk to day in and day out. It's like it's become our default because we're so deeply conditioned to be perfectionists and to be people pleasers. Like we're supposed to be that. We're not supposed to be that. We're supposed to be the person that we are. We're supposed to be in our power. We're supposed to be empowered. We're supposed to be the very best that we can be. We're supposed to succeed. We're supposed to be worthy. We're supposed to inspire other people. That's what we're supposed to do. We're not supposed to be perfectionists or people pleasers. And when we are, I want us all to just commit to identifying it, right? That's a commitment that I've made to myself, that I identify when I am falling back into those default behaviors and rectify it. And that is what confidence is. That's what real confidence is. And I commit to my confidence because when I commit to my confidence, I know that I'm going to keep going and I'm going to keep reaching new levels of success. And that is what I help all of my clients do as well. And I help them to identify when they're doing this shit as well and to get out of it, to get out of those patterns of behavior that we have been conditioned to think are normal. So there we go. 8 minutes, 19 seconds. That's a record for me. I feel like I should go on. I feel like I should just talk now for the sake of talking, but I won't. I will leave it there and tell you, as usual, that confidence plus faith equals success. Have an absolutely fabulous week. Mwah.